In that beautiful place, with our hearts open from that beautiful music, I invite you, if you're comfortable, to close your eyes. Let the chair completely support you. Now, as we begin taking some deep breaths in and letting it out, settling our energy just a little bit more as we see that breath coming in and out of our heart space. Acknowledging the love that resides in our hearts. And as we focus our attention there, and we see that breath of God breathing us, we feel our hearts expanding even more, feeling the love that we are experiencing right here, right now, in this moment. From that beautiful song, from being with friends, greeting each other in love and light this day. So we just allow our bodies to relax from the top of our head to the tips of our toes. We feel that love in our body. We feel that energy as it flows through the bottoms of our feet and grounds us into Mother Earth. I like to see roots coming through the bottom of my feet, grounding me in the love of Mother Nature. Feel yourself in the strength and the power of the love that you are. Continuing to breathe deeply, fully, relaxing more and more. This morning we are invited to go within to the altar of your own heart. Put your focus there now as you see that breath going in and out and expanding the love that you are. Go within to the altar of love this morning. This is the place where we bring our griefs, our sorrows, our worries, our fears, and we lay it on the altar of love this morning. We allow that magical love energy to heal that in us which needs to be healed. Our love witnesses those concerns of ours. It holds it and it heals it. It allows it to take on that which you need to lay there and leave, and it loves it and it holds it. So I invite you now in this moment of silence to allow that love to heal you unconditionally right here, right now, in this moment of silence. Allow yourself to be loved unconditionally. Experience this love empowering you and freeing you from any burdens or concerns that might be holding you back from the good that you are here to create in this manifestation. I invite you, if you're comfortable, to put your hand on your heart and say to yourself, I am love. I am loved. I am lovable. And now breathe that in and place your hand back into your lap. And know the truth of you. Know this is who you are as God in expression. You are here to be the love that the planet needs. And so we receive this calling this morning to be that, to show up as that, and to know that that is the truth of you. Whenever you're ready, bring your focus back into this room and open your beautiful eyes. So it all began for me in the spring of 1989, the very first time I set foot in a Unity church in Northeast Austin, Texas. It was called Unity Center of Positive Prayer. My first Unity minister was Mary Catherine McDougall. And I was hooked. I learned in that place about the love that I am, about the love that I came here to be. And that experience, I was referred to that little house. It was just a little white house. And off of this sort of main road. And my chiropractor told me, if you like A Course in Miracles, you're probably going to like this Unity Church. And of course, it was magnificent for me. So what I want to tell you is that I have the letter that I received, my welcome letter from 1989. And I'm going to read it to you because this was the beginning of this journey for me. Dear new friend, the Unity Center of Positive Prayer was happy to have you with us Sunday and welcomes you with love. We are a congregation of individuals with one common goal, discovering our divine nature and expressing it. This goal can be realized along diverse paths. By studying and practicing the principles of practical Christianity as taught by Jesus the Christ, we all unfold spiritually. We believe in the power of love. Love is the key that unlocks our minds in an awareness of God and brings us in harmony with all He has for us: peace, joy, happiness, wisdom, and prosperity. The center is a learning place. We invite you to come and learn with us. And that's where it all began for me. My first Unity Church. And, here it is 2025 and I'm still going. Who would have known, Who would have known? They planted the seeds of love in me then, and it just never stops growing. There's never an end to it, ever, because we are eternal beings, and so we're growing in that love always. So, quite naturally, it's February, and we have a theme for our whole month. We're talking about the love. Let's say our affirmation together. My thoughts, words, and actions reveal my loving nature. Now, I'm not sure what happened here last week. I did watch Vivian's sermon. But what I want to tell you is that there were more couples in the prayer box last week in the entire 10 years that I've been here. So this is Love Month, y'all. So I don't know. I prayed for all of them, and all of you got sent to Silent Unity, but I just think it's interesting that there were so many couples in the prayer box last week. So we are always lifting people up in prayer, and I love this affirmation so much because it's so true that as spiritual beings having this human experience that we're having, we are like vessels. You know, we are like vessels shaped by what we hold in our minds and in our hearts. What we show up as is what we're holding in our thoughts, in our words, and our actions. And so if we choose to nurture the love of God in our thoughts, that love will become our essence, and that's who we will show up as. And then when life sorts to press us down a bit, when things become a little bit more difficult, we get squeezed, what will come out of us is the love. And for other people, when they get squeezed, anger and bitterness and disappointment and fear comes out of them. So just imagine like you're like a sponge. I was like a sponge when I first got to Unity, taking every class I could possibly get into to learn, to grow, to understand the God of my beingness, right? And so it's important that what we focus on, like when we focus on the love that we are, that's what's going to flow out of us, no matter what's going on in our lives, no matter what hardships or struggles that we have. When we're filled with and focused on the love that we are, that's what comes out for us in those tough times. We can only release that which we have absorbed, right? So this past 5 weeks, we've been in Unity Basics class with our potential new members, and we completed our 5 principles class. So let's have a review, y'all. God is, I think. Good, you guys are getting this. Okay, so the 5th week is the 5th principle, and so we were concentrating on, I live the truth that I know. And so this is the truth of us. We are always living into something that we are experiencing. We are always, because we are eternal beings, we are always living into something that we perceive as true. Now, the truth is different for each and every one of us. So we are either expressing from a paradigm of love where we embody our innate oneness and we express that, or we're living from a mindset of fear, lack, loss, separation, which we see a lot of people doing that, don't we? So we don't want to be that. We want to be allowing the love to guide us, because when we're in the other mindset, that's all we're doing is living like a roller coaster on the waves of emotions, of reacting to everything that's happening to us. So we want to be standing in our power, in our strength, and knowing that we are loved. So there are times when making a choice to be the love or not is really easy. Like, for instance, say, going to the gym or stopping and eating a bunch of fast food. That's a pretty easy choice. But then maybe sitting in traffic and being either patient or annoyed, maybe that takes a little bit more spiritual acumen, right? So we have these practices in our tool, we call them tools in our toolbox, that we can pull out and use when those things come up where we have to remember how to choose love. How do we, in this moment, live from love when things are challenging us to the very core of us? How then do we become the love? Well, for many of us, it becomes, we start questioning things. And so I was reading in, Unity has a little booklet about the 5 principles, and Reverend David Adams is sharing a story about how this happened to him. He says, for example, his mom had become cognitively impaired, and that she was starting to progress in that journey. And he says to himself, how am I to live my truth when her current truth argues against everything that I remember? Can I choose to see her as the divine expression of God in each and every moment? Can I choose that? This choice helps him meet conditions that seem unfair with a sense of grace, right? So that he can enjoy the time that they have together. So we ask each and every moment, how does love show up now? How can I be in love? How can I make the loving choice right here and right now, even though I may not like what is showing up, right? How do I desire to be, beginning with my next thought, word, or action, the love? And so I take you to the Bible, where we interpret the scriptures metaphysically. 1 John chapter 4, verse 8 says, he who doesn't love doesn't know God, for God is love. The Apostle John, you see, when Charles Fillmore discerned the 12 powers, the 12 faculties, the 12 aspects of God that live in us, of course, John represents love. John is the one. Jesus loved John, the disciple. He loved him so much. And of course, Jesus' teachings are all about the love. All of that is the dominant theme of the New Testament. So all the love that we express in a universal and unselfish way is that perfect love that the scripture is talking about. When we express the fullness of love like Jesus did, his love is perfected in us. That's who we came here to be. God love is manifested in and through us as Christ love, Christ and the supermind. So we express that love of God by loving one another. We express that by being the love that we came here to be. Such a wonderful and profound scripture. So, because we're talking about love this whole month, I have to go to Eric Butterworth. He's just one of my most favorite. He wrote an essay called Be the Center of Love. And so this work is so relevant to what we are walking through right now. He says that those who seek a spiritual approach to polarization of social and political issues need to pay attention to this, because the overriding theme of it is the real need for us is to change our own consciousness, to dissolve our own prejudices, and heal our own fears first. It's always an inside job. It always begins with us. We do the work first. So he recommends that we don't use right-wrong thinking, like everything's black and white. That just doesn't work in our situation this day. He also says there is wisdom in not proselytizing and trying to win converts to your opinions. That really doesn't work, whether you're doing it one-on-one or you're, splashing it on Facebook. Instead, you see, we need to be the center of love, because enough centers of love in the city and around the nation is going to evoke wise actions of our government and bring a unified support of all the people. Enough centers of love around the world will build bridges all over the place for communication and for peace. Because you see, love is always the answer. So what I want to do this morning is I want to read you a little bit of Butterworth's advice. He says, when the world around you is in turmoil, you may be confused as to where you should stand. When social issues become polarized and politicized, people may demand to know, are you for us or are you against us? It is important to know that you need not become trapped in divisiveness ever. You can take a stand for unity. There's our name. The one thing to be against is the tendency to react in anger or hostility to give vent to feelings of bias and prejudice. And the important thing is to be for the way of love, always. So you can be a positive onlooker. A referee or a negotiator plays an important role in many disputes, as we know, and it's not a passive or weak-filled function. His is a dynamic activity. Even though he takes no stand for or against, anyone can become an arbiter of good feelings, a center of love, if you so choose it. And so I've used this Edwin Markham quote before because Eric uses it in this essay that he wrote. He drew a circle that shut me out. Heretic, rebel, a thing to flout. But love and I had the wit to win. We drew a circle that took him in. When you become judgmental, no matter what you say you stand for, you are on the side of the problem. Do you get that? Instead, be an active onlooker. In this new age, one must have the wit to draw a larger circle of love, to include and bless all persons and all groups of people. That's why we're here, to heal this planet, right? So there's a better way, Eric says. Be a meta-missionary. Don't you love that? Be a meta-missionary, dealing with seeing things or people rightly as Jesus taught, instead of the misguided effort to try to set somebody right. See it as you know the truth. See us healed and whole as one, right? Certainly the message is universally needed, but as far as you are concerned, the great need is to change your own consciousness, dissolve your own prejudices, and heal your own fears. So this week on Friday, we were doing the 5 principles, and of course it's Live Your Truth, and one of the students in the class pointed out that on page 125, Ellen Davenport has this great thing. She talked about how we see the world through our own lenses, our own filters. We all see the world differently because we all came from a different experience. And Jesus suggested that we be in the world and not of it, which makes us a better onlooker or observer, right? To not get in the struggle. So to live from soul and not from ego makes total sense, doesn't it? So living in fear and anger is just not the consciousness from which we want to create. Because what is principle 3? What we focus on expands. So if you withdraw your energy, guess what? It shrivels away. It shrivels away. If there's no energy there, if you're not feeding it, it melts away. So then author Ellen Davenport gives a list of how to treat news and keep your perspective. And it's so helpful. I invite you to get into the 5 Principles book and look at it. An example, she says, is try watching the news, thinking about Principle 4 and 5 when you're doing it. Because it's like me, I told my class, my morning newspaper, that's my prayer list. You know? So you watch the news. If you have to watch the news, you watch it in that. You bless and you send love to everybody involved in that. And then you ask in prayer, what is yours to do? And then you follow that. So this is how we do this. We expand our consciousness first and foremost. We have self-reflection. We honor others. Our cornerstones for becoming centers of love. Love is the answer because our co-founder Charles Fillmore says in the Revealing Word this: love is the pure essence of being that binds together the whole human family. Of all the attributes of God, love is undoubtedly the most beautiful and is the great harmonizing principle known to man. There is nothing that enough love cannot heal. We just all need to focus on it, right? Okay, enough preaching, time for a joke. So right after this young woman is engaged, her father comes up to her and says to her, I just have one question. Does the fella have any money? And she goes, oh, Daddy, you men are all alike. She sighs deeply, so disappointed, and she said, he asked the same thing about you. Yep. So I'm closing today with an affirmative prayer. So just close your eyes and take these words into your deep part of your heart. Love is the foundation of my truth. In every moment, I choose to seek or see the presence of love. Should circumstances arise that question or challenge this truth, may I draw more deeply on love's infinite inner wellspring. May my every word, thought, and action radiate the love I desire to see in the world. This I declare in the name and in the nature of the living Christ presence within. And so it is. Amen. All right, thank you so much. All right, now is this very special time in our service. Before we get to our offering piece, I invite up to the platform our Board of Trustees, President John Kruger, Vice President Andy Kovzlaskis, Secretary Vicki Edwards, trustees. I don't think Ken Hill is here. He's on Zoom. Hi, Ken. Mary Getz and Wanda Whiteside. So y'all come on up on one side. And then to be installed today as new members of our church, I'm going to invite them alphabetically, and then we also have on Zoom, we have our people who are virtual today. And so we have virtual members, and we have people who can be here physically present. So first, alphabetically, is Nancy Alexander. Come on down, Nancy. Yay. We have something for you, Nance. And if you'll come over here, Nancy, come up here on the platform. Yay. Suzanne Curie. Yay, Suzanne.
Thank you, John. Appreciate it.
All right, you have a rose. Vicky's trying to give you a rose. All right. We got it, so you can just flip around right here. Annette Comroy is in South Carolina. Where's Annette? I see Kay Ellen. There's Annette. There's Annette. Yay! There's Annette Comroy. Hello, Annette. Welcome. Then we have here Marcia Pettit. Marcia, come on down. Let our board greet you. So nice to have you. Come on over here by Nancy. And then we have Mary Phelps. Mary's right here on the front. Yay, Mary! Your certificate and your rose. And next we have Nancy Peterson, and she's at Unity Village. Nancy Peterson is from St. Pete. Yay, Nancy Peterson! And then last but certainly not least, we have Kay Ellen Shores, and she's in Round Rock, Texas. Kay, welcome, Kay. Okay, so I'm going to get down here so I can talk to all of you. No, you're fine, you're fine. I want to be able to see all of your beautiful faces. Where two or more are gathered together in my name, there I am in the midst of them. That's from Matthew 18:20. I had the pleasure of spending the last 5 weeks with these 7 beautiful women. We had such a good time, and we had so many great discussions. Successfully meeting with your peers and making the extra effort, each one of you has the true desire to know God and to unfold spiritually, which is the truest requirement. In unity, we have no dogma. We only ask that you seek the truth and that you commit to your spiritual journey, which I sincerely believe this particular group is definitely going to do. We unite in spiritual community so that we have a place to explore spiritual truths together, a place to remind each other that we are originally blessed and to know our oneness together. We come together so we can lift each other up in prayer, in thought, in spiritual companionship, and in sacred service. For this is how we expand our consciousness, transform our lives, and make an impact on our world. In our unity of purpose and our love of God, and as dedicated spiritual students, we believe that our faith in oneness is the rock upon which our community is built. Unity means oneness, and we create this unity by bringing with us our various backgrounds, which are so diverse and so wonderful, and to blend together that living Christ consciousness. Friends, in unity as the minister of this church, it is my privilege on behalf of our beautiful board of trustees to welcome you into active membership of Unity Church of Peace. Let's bless our members with our unity blessing. We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ in you. All right, now welcome to our spiritual community. Give them a round of applause. Hip, hip! Yay! Okay, and now Tracy got some pictures. Oh, so you don't get my backside. Yeah, this is my better side. And them. Let's try to get everybody together. Okay, so thank you so much for being in class with me. And we have, not only do we have lots of soup today, but we have cake. We love cake. So we have a new member cake today. We love to eat cake. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I didn't even mention you. Oh, my God, our treasurer. I'm sorry, Renee. I don't know why. You must have not been here the last time I did that service. Sorry. Wonderful. Okay, so now, in this time in our service, we give from our good, and we bless this beautiful community. Some of you do this online through Breeze. Some of you send your checks in. Some have automatic giving. However you do that, we are so grateful for all the ways in which we are blessed. So let's say our blessing together. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God, that this is so.